Hi guys, I'm Adam Conarroe. I'm the Creative Technical Director here at Powerhouse Animation. Today I'm going to be showing you a few of my favorite scripts that we use in our After Effects pipeline. If you're not already using scripts in your pipeline, you should definitely start. It's a huge time saver. Most of the things I'm going to show you today are from a website called aescripts.com, but just doing a simple Google search can yield all kinds of results to help you speed up your workflow. Or if you're feeling particularly adventurous, you can even write some of your own scripts. So with that, let's get started. Alrighty, so starting off, I just have a simple PSD layer with the text Powerhouse ! Because it's exciting. So this is just a single layer with alpha, and I did it with a little brush stroke. Basically, I just wanted to show you how at some point in your career, you're going to come across a point where you can't do text directly in After Effects. You're going to have to start off with Photoshop text, and you're going to have to animate that. So today, I want to have this animated just in a per character sort of animate in, just to give it a little bit of pizzazz, I suppose. However, since this is a single layer, I can't animate each individual character. So the first thing I have to do is put a mask around each layer. So before I do that, I'm going to duplicate the layer, kind of bring down the opacity and set it to guide, so that way I don't accidentally render it. And now I can just go and add a mask to each letter, and you can see the other ones revealing the guide layer underneath. But I can just keep going until I get every letter in its own distinct mask. Alrighty, so we got a mask around each individual layer. With that, I can go ahead and just delete this guide layer because we are done with it. Normally what I'd have to do in this situation is I would have to duplicate the layer, delete all the masks but the first one, and that would get me just the P. And then I have to do it again, delete all the masks except for the second one, and that would get me the letter O. But that is boring and time consuming. But there's a simple script to make that a little bit easier called Mask to Layers. What it does is it takes the single layer, be it a Photoshop image or just a solid in After Effects, with multiple masks applied, and it basically does what I just described automatically. So you can set your blending mode. I'm just going to leave it all to default and just hit proceed. So now you can see it made a layer for each individual letter in the text. And our original one is still down here at the bottom. I'm just going to go ahead and delete it. And now we can see we have all of those on their own layer, on their own mask. Each one just has a single mask layer. So pretty handy. This is pretty disorganized right now, like it's not labeled, and so that might be confusing for somebody else in the pipeline, but I really doubt that anyone's going to be so like anal retentive that they need to layer like each individual one. Actually, hold on just a second. Okay, much better. That was going to bug the crap out of me. All right, so now we have all of our layers with all of our masks organized nice and neat and labeled. Let's say I just want to add like a drop shadow effect to it. And we'll just set that to another good powerhouse color of ketchup red. Cool. So for whatever reason, we need to pre-comp all of these because we want to apply an effect or we want to use those letters over and over. But now we can go ahead and pre-comp each individual layer. Pre-comping is fun. All right, so now I got a pre-comp for each individual letter. But oh no, our comp size is so big, but our letters are so small. I want those to be trimmed down to just the letter. If only there was a script that did that for us. Oh wait, there is. It's called auto crop. All you have to do is select the comp, hit auto crop, and it will automatically trim the bounds to just what the alpha is. There's also features on there if you want to add a little bit of extra padding to there. So if we wanted to say, I want just the alpha, but I want like 10 pixel padding to it, I could do that and it would do it. Additionally, if I wanted to just make a custom mask, just so I know it's positioned good and that padding feels right, I can do that. Hit mask crop, it will crop it just to that. We can apply that to multiple comps at once. So I'm going to select all these remaining ones and just hit auto crop. And now they're all cropped to size. You'll notice the anchor point is still where it started off. That's a really quick fix. All you have to do is select your layers and hit Control-Alt-Home, and that will snap the anchor point to the middle of all of those compositions. So yay, we have pre-comps of all of our letters. Now let's animate them a little bit. Let's just say we have a simple scale in. So starting off with 0, we'll animate to 100. So that's pretty boring. Let's add an expression to just kind of make that bounce a little bit. The expression I'm going to use is one that I found on motionscripts.com by Dan Ebert. A ton of information that is super useful for anyone wanting to get into expressions. The one that I'm doing today is basically going to apply apply some inertia to any velocity set in your keyframes. In other words, I'm gonna make it wiggle. So now that's coming in, I like it. I wanna have all of my comps do that. So I'm just gonna copy the scale, paste those on all the remaining ones, unsolo it. There, now they're all coming in nice. But what if I wanna have those offset to where like the first letter comes in, a fraction of a second later, the O comes in, and so on and so forth. So for instances like this, I like to use a script called Shift Layers. All I have to do is select Stagger Selected Layers from this drop-down box, add to existing time frames, and this frame amount here is going to tell me exactly how much I want it to offset. So we'll just say I want each of these to start 2 frames after each one. So I hit Apply, and you'll see that it's now been offset through there. That feels pretty good, but if I wanted it maybe to tweak it a little bit, like 2 feels a little bit too fast, too energetic. Make it 3. So because I selected add to existing time layers, it now added 2 on top of that 3. So, but just real easily, I could shift select those, start at the beginning and apply. Or I just select from current time marker, and I'll always do it from wherever my time marker is. All right, so voila, we have a perfect animation. Never mind, it's not perfect. In fact, it's pretty terrible. But the point is, it took practically no time at all to do. And that just kind of goes to show you how useful scripts can be. Just quickly to go over a couple other scripts that I really enjoy. Number one is this Launchpad, which you see here. It's just a cool, handy little toolbar that you can just drop in your scripts and then put in a little custom ping for an icon, and you can really quickly just run all of those scripts without having to go to Window scripts or File scripts. Super handy. Some of the ones we have in there, like for instance, a solid. It makes a black solid at comp sizes. It adds a fill to it, so I can just quickly change the color. And it even names the solid, Solid. How handy is that? Another script that's incredibly useful, especially for a lot of the motion comics that we do here at Powerhouse, is the Multiplane script. Here I have a quick Photoshop composition of something that we did for a promotional project a few years back. Right now, we have all of these layers: background, midground, sign, buckets, plow, veggies, corn jars, apples, beautiful. Right now, they're all in the same Z plane. If I rotate my camera around, see they're all in a single plane. Normally what we do in a motion comic, first step, is to select the first layer and kind of pull it out. Second layer, pull it out. Last layer, push it back, and kind of just manually reposition all of those until we get a level of parallax that we're happy with. However, with the Multiplane script, we can just select our front layer and then shift select our back layer. And then here in the Multiplane panel, we can define what we want that front Z value to be and what we want that last one to be. And you can even select what kind of camera to create with that. I'm just gonna hit Apply Multiplane. It goes through and it adds that depth, and then with our camera, now when I rotate, you'll see it has all of that depth. But from the front default view, it looks exactly the same. What it's doing is it's pushing it back in Z space and then scaling it up to be exactly as large as it appears to the camera. So it's really handy just for getting like your basic parallax in place. It's never gonna be exactly perfect where like you just hit one button and you're done, but from there you can kind of just finagle it and just start pushing things back and forth until you're happy with the level of parallax that you have. So that's basically it. Scripts are a huge time saver. These were just a few, but just go to aescripts.com and just kind of browse through what they have. There's tons of useful things, both for free and for purchase. So check it out and start writing some of your own scripts to get your job done for you.